Hello and good afternoon, Xbox Nation. Welcome to Xvlog Live. I'm one of your hosts, Mr. BoomStick XL. And of course, I'm here with Mr. TTS himself, C Money, laying it down like he should. What's going on, brother? How the heck are you feeling? And holy crapola, 24 hours ago, there was good Xbox news. Now there is even more Xbox news. And you know what? The way that this particular show is gonna settle in is kind of like a domino effect because it all starts with one thing, and it kind of domino effects to everything else. But hey, C Money, how you feeling, brother? Welcome back.
Doing great, man. Doing great. It's been a while. We've had
Yes.
some shows we couldn't make, but man, we're back and yeah, man, what a great time, bro. It's like the world the last time we were together on this show versus where we are today is a
Dude,
very
isn't it crazy
different
that a couple of weeks go
place.
by and it's like literally the playing field has been changed.
I don't know, like there's a moment like for anybody who has had a dog that knows like that moment when you do the thing to the dog and the dog can't reproduce anymore. What is it? You snip them? Is it the dog
Yes.
or the cat? Or something? The
Yes.
neutered, right? Something like
Yes.
that. That the deflation in the dog is real. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like, man, it's almost like he's a different person. He doesn't feel the same anymore internally. That's what the ponies feel. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what has
Are you
happened to
saying
them.
they're defeated, sir?
They are. It's almost like not even it's not even fair anymore because like for us, we never tied our lives to the idea of exclusives, right? Like we had fun with it, and yes, we might have thought of this stuff, but yeah, we move on and we change and we grow and we move forward. But these people, they were so tied to it that they just don't know what to do anymore. Like they're barely like responding in Twitter posts
Oh, some people have
anymore.
gone into full on hiding, dude. Like there
They're
are
in
certain people
hiding.
that are just you just don't see them anymore. They're gone.
They're just in such shambles. It's real wild. And the crazy thing is that all this news is such a win for Xbox and PlayStation.
Yeah, it is.
It's a,
Yep.
it's a win. It's a
Yeah.
win. It's a benefit. But these people prove why Hiroki and the team will never, ever, ever listen to them. Um, and it's because they don't actually give a shit about PlayStation. They just care about the idea
Yeah.
that they have something to hold over others in this the Twitter wars or the YouTube wars of consoles, right? And it's just wild to see it all like play out in real time, watching it happen. It's a great time. It's a great time. It's a great time for sure. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it
I'm
myself.
having well, maybe you know it, maybe you haven't heard me talk about it. I am officially on in my evil arc right now.
That's what I like.
And even though I'm not, again, shout out to Dirk Riggedy who wants me to really embrace the dark side. I'm kind of like half in, half out. So I'm still being a little bit of a D, but I'm not fully there yet. Um, you know what? That's just my way. It's almost like in games, I really despise playing the bad guy. And even real life, I can't do it. So even though I am worthy of being an a-hole to some of these people, I can't bring myself to do that. I don't know. It's just a me thing. But look, we're having fun with it. But the truth of the matter is, C Money, right now, Xbox is in the best position in gaming. You can say what you want about Nintendo Switch selling its 5 million consoles and Donkey Kong Bonanza being a Game of the Year contender, because that's what I would say. And if the number would agree with me, he gave it a 9.5 out of 10. I'm there right now with the same score. It is flawless. I love my Nintendo Switch too. I have a great time playing with Tyler, and we're really enjoying both Donkey Kong and Mario Kart. So as a family, it's great. Um, PlayStation, they're going to have a couple of games, right? Death Stranding came out. It obviously it's going to probably be a Game of the Year contender, and I would say that it's worthy of it. The game looks gorgeous. every complaint that a lot of people had, including my brother, who loved the original so much that he beat it 3 times on 3 different platforms, is saying that it has a bit of Metal Gear in it. The kind of like some of the lulls from the first one have been fixed. So I think this is that's if you're a PlayStation player and you're playing it, that's great, right? Ghost of Yotai is coming out later this year. They have another locked up deal that they're publishing, and of course MLB The Show was in the top 10 most best selling games of the year for them. That's a big win for them. But make no mistake, ladies and gentlemen, this is an Xbox podcast, and we are going to TTS right now. I want to shout out Snap Blast Play. He is a member of the Twitter community that consistently talks about Xbox, and he does walk the walk, talk the talk. But he put out a listing, and this it's not that it's vague, it's what has happened in the past couple of weeks, right? So I want to use his particular list, which I will add to the show notes if you want to follow him, and you should, and if you want to see it for yourself. Now, we learned yesterday, C-Money, that Xbox had a plus 13 growth year over year. That's a big number. That's a double-digit number. It's 13%. They have 500 million active users across multiple devices. That's insane, dude. Okay?
Thanks.
Right now, in FY25, it has been confirmed that it's the biggest Xbox year ever, right? Here's another stat. Nearly $5 billion in revenue from Game Pass. Now, this according to Christopher Dring, who has gone into witness protection, said that this was an unsustainable, thing, right? That there was no way that Microsoft could be making money, right? We know that they invest $1 billion, but they made nearly $5 billion. I don't understand it. Like, again, some of the rhetoric, some of the backpedaling and the toe tipping dancing that people are doing and the goalpost moving is almost, I'll say this again, because I don't do the names thing. I, as a human, are embarrassed for some of these people. I'm going to tell you that right now. And some of them are grown men and women with children, and how they're acting about a corporation is just bugged out to me. But let me continue, C-Money. This comes the way of Satya Nadella. Not only is Xbox the top publisher on Xbox, that makes sense, right? Because they're going to have 12 first-party releases by the end of the year, not counting any shadow drops. But they're the top publisher on PlayStation. So let me get this straight. If it wasn't for Xbox in 2025, PlayStation would have no games, right? I mean, we know that 6 of the top 10 most paid for games in a list that came out 2 days ago is what? Xbox Game Studio titles on PlayStation. That's very interesting, C-Money.
It is.
And according to Snap Blast Play, Xbox dominates the top 10 PlayStation storefront. And you know what's crazy? All of this incredible news, and there are a lot of little stories. Now, one of the stories that came out yesterday, we're going to get into it, is that we all knew that Black Ops 6 was the biggest Call of Duty of all time. What we didn't know is that it has surpassed 50 million players. And you know why that's crazy interesting, C-Money? Because the game isn't even a year old yet. It came out October of 24. We haven't even hit October of 25. As a matter of fact, even though it's 12 hours away, we are still in July, and it has 50 million players. And this is where we lead into the future. All of this incredible news, C-Money, right, comes on the heels of the press, the anti-Xbox community, and the egregious podcasters out there, which of course stay nameless here. Xbox is dead. Game Pass is unsustainable. It's operating at a loss. You know who said that? Xbox has no games. They're mid. I could go on and on. But I just read to you an incredible list of achievements that only has happened in the last couple of weeks, right? Forget about the fact that they'll have 12 first-party releases by the end of the year. See, money, the 25th anniversary of Xbox is next year, and we're getting Gears, Halo, Forza, Fable, and a bunch of other things. I mean, if you can't find any positivity in what's happening in Xbox land, then you are actually the problem. Let's get your hot take on some of the numbers I've just thrown at you.
Obviously, this is great news just for just the industry in general, right? To see Microsoft doing so well, that's what we need for our hobby, right? We need these studios, these publishers to be doing well so that they can go ahead and keep, investing, right? Like that's what this is all about, right? Like what we call games, they call investments, right? They are investing in themselves. They make a game, they're hoping that whatever they spent on that game is going to turn into more money coming in. So as long as they're making money, they have no problem spending money, which is what's required for us to get what we want, which are the games. So this is all great news. As far as Microsoft proper, this is the thing. We knew this, right? Like these are similar numbers to what has happened in the past. They grow everywhere else and they go down on hardware, right? Hardware, it's a 5-year-old generation. And they are more open to play anywhere. So that's a given. Again, no one's crying about that because at the end of the day, where they make their money is on every other part of the business. And frankly, it's going up, right? That's all that matters. As long as that number is moving up, that is going to be what they need to continue to say, okay, this is worth investing more. Let's keep going and making it bigger and better, right? The crazy news was the fact that there's 50 million people who've played Call of Duty, and I could tell you right now, that there are going to be people saying, yeah, but that's not 50 million sold, that's 50 million players. You got Game Pass, cool. Okay, well, let me tell you a secret. I play the game through Game Pass, and I spend more money on Call of Duty than I've ever spent on Call of Duty. I've bought so
Those
many
skins are addicting, bro. I'm not gonna front.
So many, bro. It's crazy. It's crazy. So that 50 mil is 50 mil of making some money, man. And that's huge, right? Because again, Call of Duty, if I know people like to talk about shit and say, well, Microsoft bought the company, they inherited that amount of success. But if y'all remember, leading up to that purchase, Call of Duty was actually on a decline. It was actually on a decline before they got purchased. So the fact of the matter is not only did they buy ABK and handle all the egregious shit that was happening at the studio and at the publisher, and all the studios they had, not only did they sort that out, but they also went ahead and took Call of Duty, brought it back to relevancy, put it back in the hands of players. Game Pass is in fact the saving grace, because what happened with Boom told us that he wasn't really in to the multiplayer aspect of Call of
Yep.
Duty. And then lo and behold, my boy Boom gets it in Game Pass and loses his fucking mind playing this
Bro,
game
it is
so
almost,
goddamn
it's an
much.
addiction. It is an addiction to the point
It's crazy.
where listen, I'm not playing in any tournaments, but I am smoking MFers. And for an old man who's going to be 55 in September, this old man got a lot of new tricks. And I don't know what to say other than you see the gameplay. That's me playing. That's not my nephew
We
playing.
see
That's
it,
me
bro.
playing.
We see it. We see it. It's just such such a powerful platform.
Yeah.
That again, had it not been in Game Pass, had Microsoft not bought ABK, Boom would have looked at this game the same way he looked at every other Call of Duty before that. Play the campaign, get out, right? But because it was in there, it's a zeitgeist moment, right? Everybody's pumped to see the new Call of Duty because it's in Game Pass. A bunch of people jumping in free, as far as the part of their subscription. And it just took off, right? And we saw the same thing because it's funny because you think about how much they sell and you think, oh, 50 million people is so much. Man, when before Black Ops 6 came out, the previous game came to Game Pass as well. Was it Modern Warfare 3? Is that what it was? Or what?
Yeah.
Whatever
3.
the last one was before Black Ops 6.
Yeah, it's 3. And that one got run through the mill because it was a DLC turned into a full release, and it still sold gangbusters.
It sold gangbusters, and then when it came to Game Pass, all the people who didn't want to really mess with the game jumped in, and my timeline was flooded with a bunch of people playing it, praising it. An old game, you know what I'm saying? But it came to Game Pass, and people were just losing their minds like they never played a Call of Duty before, right? That's the reaction that Game Pass is designed to allow for, right? It allows for people who might have had a preconceived notion on a type of game that they had no desire, or they thought they had no desire to play or spend money on, to go ahead and just say, F it, let me download it, and then have the ability to fall in love with it, right? That is the beauty, right? And that is playing out in front of our eyes, right? We get to see it happen. And although you have all these naysayers out there who, these ponies and these people who want to question it, the media, and talk all this crap about it, it's like, as much as people are desperate to figure out the numbers and figure out how can they do it, we don't give a shit how they do it. We don't give a shit about any of it, right? All it does is validate that they are wrong, right? And that's why we talk about it in such a way. And the fact that it's successful is great because it does, bring more business, more opportunity for new games and stuff, right? That all does matter. But at the end of the day, we don't care how the sausage is made, right? We just want to open up our Game Pass app or open up Xbox and see what games are on Game Pass and play if we want to, right? Like that's all we give a shit about. So the fact that we are seeing how successful it is fantastic, man. And it does so much for these games. It did it for Call of Duty. Look at Horizon, Forza Horizon, right? Like we know what it did on PlayStation, right? One of the best-selling games over there. And the fact that not only is it one of the best-selling games over there, but it's also one of the best-selling games for Xbox over the course of this last year that it's been, or since it's been on PlayStation.
Yep.
Because you have that effect, right? It's back in the zeitgeist. People are talking about it. People are playing it. They see their friends on PlayStation playing it. They go back and they play it on Xbox. They go back and buy it on Xbox. We talked about this before it all started happening, where I was talking about how there's going to be that other side of the reaction, right? Where once games get back in the zeitgeist, there's a lot of people who bought an Xbox after 2021. You know what I'm saying? In 2022, 2023, 2024, these years where Horizon had been out already. It's an old game. Just because it's the latest game doesn't mean that people are going to necessarily flock to it. It's old, right? It's not in the zeitgeist anymore, right? So it obviously does what every game does, and it slows down, right? A lot of people were still getting it, but it still slowed down. And then all of a sudden it goes to PlayStation, back in the zeitgeist. PlayStation players love it, right? They're embracing it more than they even embrace Gran Turismo, right? So they're loving the game, and it's having that trickle effect everywhere else, right? So PC players are going to be playing more of it. Xbox players are playing more of it, buying the game that they missed because it's back in the zeitgeist. So, that at the end of the day is what like truly matters for us gamers, right? These other scenarios that are out there where these people are crying and dooming and glooming about Xbox every moment that they can. Every time there's good news, there'll be some type of article written about some possible problem or issue that Xbox may or may not have in some point in the future, depending on the day and time. It's like, yo, like what, like, God, like look at the information that's out there and just see it and accept it, right? Like there is no, look, I know people want to look at Xbox like they're in third place, and people have such a hard time with this idea that PlayStation is following suit with what Xbox is doing. And it's cute because they're acting like this is the first time, right? Like PlayStation constantly tries to follow what Xbox is doing. Their whole live service push is in response to Xbox having multiple live service games that exist and flourish. It's all copying. And like at the end of the day, like you need to understand something. Like no company copies a loser. Doesn't exist. Okay. They don't. Companies don't go ahead and say, oh, this company's in last place, we're gonna copy them. That never happens. You know why? Because we've said it in my podcast, and I'm sure we said it here. But there's a saying that exists, and it's the most valuable thing that you would ever be able to understand and grasp in your life, because there's a lot of people who will try to do it, and you need to be able to decipher who you should and shouldn't listen to. And the saying is simple: you never take advice from someone who's not in a position that you would want to be in. Okay. It's just the facts of life. Somebody who's made only $1 million can never tell you how to make $1 billion, right? They can only teach you up to their point and what to know, right? Like, and they can only show you what they've experienced. They can never go ahead and teach you further. That's only for someone who's already done it, right? So at the end of the day, there is no way that Sony would look at Xbox and say, that's the last place company, we want to copy them. No. Sony does not see Microsoft and Xbox as the last place company. We've told y'all forever that profits are the only thing that matters. All the other numbers don't make a difference. And for the amount of money that PlayStation grosses, their net is shit. It just is. Whereas, how can Microsoft, with at least half of the amount of install base that PlayStation has, how can it be doing better financially, or even in the same range? PlayStation should be doing twice as good as Xbox with as many consoles as they have.
And right? They're not.
But they're not.
Yeah.
And there's a reason. It's because Microsoft does not rely solely on their box. And I'm telling you, as much as these dudes on Twitter think they know business,
what a joke.
PlayStation tells them all the time that they don't know business. PlayStation mocks them It's just what they do. I do have to take this call.
Yeah, no, I'll continue until you come back, brother. Well, you know what? Just for, and I'm sure, folks, you see this on the socials, right? Like the immediate pushback from the anti Xbox community and some of the the hate rhetoric that some of the PlayStation fandom is trying to push onto Xbox with all of this good news is, well, you shouldn't be capping for a corporation. You're a corporate slave. First of all, no one in this chat and no one on this panel and no one on any of my panels caps for the $4 trillion company. You know why? Because we don't give a shit. When they do good, we do better. And that's the easy answer. C Money said it. If they continue to make money, they're going to continue to invest in what's making money for them. Well, that's very simple, ladies and gentlemen. That's Xbox. Xbox is making money for Microsoft. You know what's a part of Xbox that's also making money? Xbox Game Pass. You know how we know that? Because the financials came out yesterday. And they almost hit $5 billion, which is an all-time high for Xbox Game Pass. And again, shout out to Ecstasies. He did the mathematics. Whether he's right or wrong, I would imagine we'll soon find out. But based on the numbers that were provided, he came up with a theory of between 37 and 38 million active Xbox Game Pass subscribers. Right?
That's another thing that I heard.
Yeah, good.
People are trying to deduce the numbers and like, oh well, let's go ahead.
I saw a couple of them.
How many subscribers? I'm sorry.
I know. I saw who and what you're talking about, and it's
they're trying to do math. It's like, fam, stop. Xbox is making the money. Satya Nadella is coming out and praising where they are to their stockholders. Understand that they are making money. They're making enough money to keep it going. That's what I don't give a shit if they have 5 Game Pass subscribers. If they're making $5 billion off of it, then they're making $5 billion, right? It don't matter the number. It don't matter how you cut it. Doesn't matter 20 million, 30 million, 50 million. It doesn't make a difference. If they have 100 million and it turns out that everyone found a way to only pay $5 a month for their subscription, and for Microsoft, they're happy with that profit because they're only they spend a bill, make 5. Again, these dudes acted as if they understand business. If they understand business, they would shut their mouths and not question something that means nothing. Because the only thing that matters is no matter how many subscribers, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many permanent subscribers versus how many come and go. No matter how you cut it, it all equaled a $1 billion investment turned into a $5 billion gross, $4 billion profit. Come on, man.
And
what are we talking about here?
Again, there's so much upfront big news, right? I sent you a bunch of DMs. Like when normally I like write the show notes. This was too much to write. Like I'm gonna read verbatim C Money because there's a lot here. And again, this just goes to show you how many W's Xbox continues to get, right? Like I know that there's gonna be people. There's going to be a certain audience that thinks Xbox is dead, that it doesn't mean anything to them. You got to think about everything that we just talked about. And the fact that next year is the 25th anniversary, right? There is a rumor, and it's pretty much substantiated that there's going to be OEM hardware next year. Not Xbox hardware, but partnered hardware, right? Colt Eastwood did a video regarding of how powerful this box is going to be. That's also on the heels. See, Money, we haven't even gotten to Gamescom where we're going to get the price and the actual release date for the 2 handhelds. I mean, this is
Cannot wait,
crazy,
bro.
right?
Cannot wait.
I mean, listen, let's call a spade a spade. Maybe it's out of some price ranges for some people because, of course, we are living in a time where everything is expensive, and maybe you don't have the spendable cash, and that's completely understandable. But there are going to be people like me, like C Money, that are going to want to buy this thing, and we're going to buy it, and we're going to enjoy it. That has
100%.
not even officially been making the rounds. Yeah, we know about it. They showed it off. Gamescom, there's going to be hands-on. People are going to be out there playing a ton of games that are going to be out there. We don't know if there's going to be a potential shadow drop. We don't know if there's going to be a shadow announcement of a first-party game that might have been held for Gamescom from June's event, right? We still have that. But here are a bunch of little stories. Forza Horizon 5 closing in on 50 million players over its lifetime. Think about that just for a second. Again, we just talked about a 50 million player count for Call of Duty, which was done in 10 months, right? Well, okay, that's Call of Duty. That doesn't happen just to anybody. But Forza Horizon 5 is a game that came out in 2021. It launched on Xbox, launched on PC, just launched on PlayStation. We know that it's the best-selling game on PlayStation in 2025. And you know what that means? That means that it's outdone Death Stranding 2, and it's outdone everything else. Now, granted, it just beat Monster Hunter by a pinch, but it's still the best-selling game as of right now on another platform that isn't Xbox. That's bananas, right? But you know what's even more interesting? What happened 2 days ago? Grounded 2 came out, and no one's talking about that. Like, everyone is playing it. You've talked about it, right? I've seen your posts.
We reviewed it.
And you reviewed it. And look, just think about this for a second. This is a game. It's a gas game. It's in preview. It's doing gangbuster numbers, higher than the original on PC through Steam. And people on Xbox are playing it through the preview program and enjoying it. Again, it's these little stories, and there's more. You have to remember, folks, we're still in July, even though it's, again, 12 hours away from August 1st. And we still have 3 massive shows that we know Xbox is going to show up in a big way. You have Gamescom. That's already been confirmed. We haven't even gotten into what's going to be there. They're going to have over 20 games playable on the handheld, and they're going to take over the place like they did last year, right? We're going to have boots on the ground coverage from Kay Asante, which I cannot wait to see. I've already talked to him behind the scenes. He's got a bunch of interviews lined up. Can't wait to see what content he brings to the table. So I'm very excited for him and his channel. But see, Money, you got Tokyo Game Show. Xbox confirmed to be there, right? They've already confirmed they're going to be there. We know they're making a big push into the East. They want to take over regions that paid that platform no attention, and now they got a foot in the door with this new partnered handheld. A lot of people think that it's only for Europe. Wrong. They're going to be there in Tokyo in a big way. Tokyo Game Show is going to be big for Xbox. And then, of course, depending on your mileage may vary on this one. I think it's important. A lot of people don't. That's fine. But the Game Awards, there's a chance, see Money. And again, it's a shot in the dark. I'm saying I haven't talked to anybody, and if I did, I couldn't reveal it anyway. But there is a real shot that we could get a 2019 console reveal situation at the Game Awards with a game to go with that announcement. You got to remember, when we all watched the Game Awards in 2019 and we saw Phil Spencer get up on stage, we thought he was talking about Xbox Game Pass. He showed off Hellblade 2 and he showed off the new console. That could very well happen. Now, it may not be their console that's expected in now 2027, but it could be the OEM console that Colt Eastwood's been talking about, and that would be a really big deal. That would be the capper, if you will, of the year for Xbox. I mean, listen, we can keep going. I want to hear from you, C Money. I mean, like, I just put a bunch of numbers in front of you, and they're all positive. How anyone could be negative about this is wild to me.
I mean, it's forced, right? Like that's what it is forced negativity, right? They want to go ahead and they want to downplay it, only because in their minds Xbox doing well and accepting that means they have, in their minds, they have to accept that PlayStation's what not doing as well. Like they can't both be doing well. It's a outdated mindset, right? And again, like as much as it hurts them to see the success. I mean, this is just all great news for Xbox. They're really doing a huge move in the right direction. They keep growing and having more excitement for the players, right? I mean, listen, I cannot wait to find out more about the handheld. They already sold me on it. It gonna literally play every single game that I would want to play on it. And I'm very, very excited for it. So I cannot wait for that handheld to drop. Definitely getting the X, the Ally X. That's
Yeah, me too. I'm getting
100%.
the big boy. Yep.
Yeah, it's either gonna be 800 or 900 in the US. It's it's gonna happen, but I'm so pumped for it. And then whatever console they drop next year, if it's a jump, like if it's a nice size jump, if it's gonna be something good, I'll be there too. I'm ready. I'm ready for the next whatever's next. I'm ready for it. Next year is gonna be crazy for Xbox. And it's not just amount, right? Because they'll have the numbers, they'll have the amount of games that they're gonna drop, but it's just the caliber, like the name brands.
It's almost unfair, dude.
Like it's crazy. Next year, Halo, Gears, Forza, Fable, Call of Duty. Come on, man. Like that's 5 right there of absolute craziness. And then you're gonna have the possibility of what, State of Decay 3. Come on, man. That's 6. Jesus. And then more. Whatever else they want to drop, right? Whatever else they have coming out. Man, it's such a great time to be an Xbox fan. Honestly, it really is. It's empowering. Like even I'm sure you guys could even see, my demeanor towards it, because it really, I mean, seeing it's real wild. Like it's almost like kind of looking down at the losers. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what is wrong with you guys? Like, why can't you see it? Right? Like it's right there in front of you. This is like it's just right there. But this is the way they are. This is the way they are. And they don't want to change, or they refuse to change. And it's like, all right, well, sucks to be you guys, because over here, man, it's wonderful. Yeah. It's wonderful. And it's only getting better day by day, right? So I mean, frankly, there's really nothing negative that I could speak on with what Microsoft is doing. They're doing everything we want them to do, and they're growing fantastically. And I'm just excited. You said, it's all about these shows. Gamescom. We had talked about the fact that last generation, for series generation, they mentioned it, and then they announced it at a summer. They announced it at the June showcase. They didn't do it this time, but they also had the Fan Fest last year at the end June, versus now they're doing it we thought Fan Fest was canceled, right? Remember all the noise and the talk? Look, they don't want to do Fan Fest anymore. They want to cut it. It's a waste. Remember all the talk, right? Oh, it's just they don't want to spend the money, blah, blah. Turned out to be bullshit, right? They do want to spend the money. They're just choosing where. right? There seems to be a pretty significant push to show outside of the US, right? They want to go over there, make it present because dude, there's plenty of fans out there, right? But also, this new initiative with Xbox where they're putting their games everywhere, you're now speaking to the broader audience over there where that you didn't used to speak to before.
Right.
And frankly, it's so funny because again, this is why I laugh at all these people. I remember people talking shit, like media talking shit, people talking shit to Satya Nadella because Satya said that he was going or he wanted to redefine what an Xbox fan was. And people were giving him shit.
They came
People
for
were
him for
going
that.
crazy about this idea. Well, you're going to tell me what type of fan? No. He said an Xbox fan in general, right? What is an Xbox fan? He's going to redefine that. And guess what he did? Look at the top of the PlayStation charts. What he has there are a bunch of new Xbox fans. They may not rock an Xbox shirt or go out there and wave an Xbox flag, but when they talk about some of their favorite games, they are now going to be talking about Xbox games. All those people who are loving Forza Horizon for the first time on PlayStation are preaching their joy and their love of Forza Horizon. And what is that? An Xbox game. So just by the reality of what it is, those are Xbox fans. They're fans of Xbox games. They're fans of Xbox's works, of Xbox's studios. Those are fans, right? And that's just the reality of what it is. So Satya, as much as they want to come for the executives over at Microsoft, the crazy shit, and they call them liars and shit, bro, they tell you exactly what they're planning to do. Now, when Phil said 4 games, I honestly believe that it was 4 games that they were testing and they were seeing how it was going to go down. And look, it went down well. Doesn't matter anymore. And now it's all been embraced. It doesn't make a difference. They're making crazy money. How long has it been, right, that they did this? And PlayStation fans told us that Xbox was going to go away because they're putting their games in other PlayStations. Ponybots told us that Xbox was going to go away because they're putting their games on PlayStation. Microsoft and Xbox came out and just showed us that their numbers went up. Now, I don't know about you guys. Like maybe I don't understand what going away means. Maybe going away means getting better in every facet, right? That maybe that's what that means, right? And then in that case, I would agree with you. But I think the best part for me is knowing that at the end of the day, I never sat there and went at Microsoft for the very shit right now that I understood when they were explaining it to us. I understood which way they were going. I understood how it would benefit us. And seeing it all play out in front of my eyes is so satisfying. You know what I'm saying? It's just such a satisfying situation because of all the people who talked crap about it. I get to know that at the end of the day, I saw it and I knew that this is what was going to come. And look at now. Now all of a sudden, all those PlayStation people who were talking crap and the pony bots who said they were leaving and how horrible this was, now all of them on PlayStation, at least the vast majority of them are saying, well, I don't care. I'm going to stay with my PlayStation. Oh, okay. Got it. So you're not going to go to PC or the Nintendo Switch. You're just going to stay where you were, right? So all that bullshit that you were saying was all performative, right?
Well, a lot of these people are playing characters like an actor.
Oh yeah.
or actress.
Oh,
That's what they they put on these acts, and people fall for the banana in the tailpipe, right? Like some people fall for it. They throw the money, they give them subs, they promote their stuff because they believe this act. And it's funny. You and I have not had an opportunity to sit down and talk about what happened last Friday. We are going to get into that because if you think everything is great right now with Xbox, and it the question is, can it get any better? Well, of course, anything can get better, and it's going to continue to get better because they have 30 plus studios making multiple first-party games. They have 40 different games in development, 40 projects in development. That's been confirmed. But before we get into it, and that's how we're going to close out the show, I do want to catch up on Super Chats. And the reason why I want to catch up on Super Chats is because obviously you got to recognize them. But Brett Bingham put out a particular one, and we're going to segue from his Super Chat into that conversation because at some point or another, Spider-Man 2018 is launching on Xbox. And when that happens, people's YouTube channels are going to shut down. Because when they can't talk about Xbox failing and they can't talk about PlayStation bending the knee, what are they going to talk about? Because most of these people are very uninteresting humans, right? They could barely put a sentence together in their podcasts. So if they don't have any of this hate rhetoric to sell, what are they going to sell? They ain't going to sell shit. That's what they're going to sell. But hold on a second. Let me catch up on Super Chats. We have Starfield Guy, drops a very generous £2 Super Chat. He says, we need Dr. Evil Boom, hashtag Boom Slayer, hashtag Boom Guy. Yeah, I mean, I don't like being a bad guy. I don't mind walking.
You're not being a bad guy.
Yeah.
Listen, everyone, you're already a bad guy in so many people's eyes.
I know, because I like Xbox. I know it's ridiculous.
Exactly.
Isn't that ridiculous?
So you might as well
embrace
it. Okay. The people who rock with you, who come to your show, they're not going to see you as the bad guy. The same people who already see you as a bad guy are just going to be like, oh shit, I thought he was a bad guy, but now he's a bad guy.
Now he's really an asshole. Yeah.
If you're going to call me a bad guy, I might as well earn the title, right? Like that's the way you got to look at it. You know what I'm saying?
No, you're not wrong. You're definitely not wrong. But listen, it's fine. I'm basking in the glory of all of this false negativity that's been put out for years, and ultimately they're all wrong. And all of these cowards, they're in hiding. They're keyboard cowards that put on an act that people buy, and it's a shame because ultimately they're not even good actors. They're bad actors. But Skywalker 3 in the chat drops a very generous $5 Super Chat. Says, Boom and C Money, two of my faves. Brother, that's very kind of you to say. We certainly appreciate the support and the very kind words, as always. Brett Bingham says this after dropping a very generous $5 Super Chat. He says, for the ponies promoting the Virtuous announcement, which just happened. Now, Virtuous, if you didn't know, is the one that worked on the Oblivion remake. They announced a strategic partnership, meaning PlayStation, has announced a strategic partnership with Virtuos. And he says this, and Brett knows his business because he's in the business. He says, I got some bad news for you. That is likely for multi-platform titles and ports, not exclusives. Yeah, and it could be ports of their first-party games because you can only give so much Nixus to do. I mean, it's only one studio, and Nixus has been super busy.
Dude, if anything, all it does is it shows the doubling down.
Oh, yeah, and that's what doing. And that's going to be the segue.
They want to move fast.
Thank you, kind
they
sir.
Want to move fast. That's all this shows.
I cannot wait to see when they say it's only 4 games. I'm going to shit my pants in delight. I'm going to say that right now, but hold on a sec. Let me continue. Matt 22
out here emailing Sony.
Yeah, I talked about it briefly last night. They're emailing Sony Interactive Entertainment. Oh my,
so crazy.
They won't email about what's going on in the country, but they'll email about
facts
about PlayStation going third party. I mean, holy cow. There's that. So Mac 22 says C Money or yeah, C Money. They are the most successful, almost $4 trillion company in third place.
Exactly.
Well, they officially have hit $4 trillion. They're right behind
Nvidia.
Yeah, Nvidia. Yeah. Nvidia's like 4.4. They're like
Nvidia
at
crazy,
yeah.
bro. They blew up.
I mean, again, if the 4 trillion, honestly, I mean, I have stocks, so that's what it means to me and my brother, because we both have stock in Microsoft. But ultimately, as if we're talking about just being a gamer, the more money they make, the more they continue to invest in Xbox, and the more Xbox continues to invest in first party and Game Pass. And how does that affect us as consumers? You know how they say shit rolls downhill? Well, if everyone is doing well, the gamers are ultimately going to do well, right? We're going to continue to get more games that we know what to do with, and our backlogs and continue to get bigger and bigger and bigger. It's almost ridiculous. Thank you so much for the generosity, Max. Super appreciate you being here. Yeah, we have Will M. Lou in the chat. Drops a very generous $10 super chat. He says, as long as Xbox supports their hardware, provides the service I use, provide me with new games both in first and third party that I play, I'll support them. When they stop that, I'll reevaluate it at that time. I mean, that makes sense, dude. If they're not delivering for you as a consumer, of course you're going to have to reevaluate, where you spend your money, and that's a very fair point. We also have Gamer by Choice. What's up, brother? Nice to see you here. He drops a very generous $2 super chat. He says, I didn't think Sony would go third party so quickly. Yeah, they bend the knee very quickly because they're seeing. I mean, look, you know what? Let me hold my thought. Gamer by Choice, because it is going to incorporate into what we're about to talk about. And I see that C Money has a big cheese smile on his face because he wants to get into it. And we're going to be TTSing it, so to speak. Nino Vistic, our generous friend all the way from Hawaii, has gifted a 1 double barrel gaming membership, brother. That is very kind of you. We super appreciate the consistent generosity. Thank you so much. We also have here Sleepy Goblin, who has been a channel member for a whopping 63 months, dude. That is absolutely insane. Jesus. Thank you so much for that kind of support. He says, LOL, geez, boom. All right, I'm stealing shit my pants in delight.
That's hilarious.
Oh, my goodness. So, you know what? Listen, folks, real quick, before we get to the last topic, we got to announce the winners. That's right, folks. We're giving away 10 prize packs, 2 grand prizes, and 8 prize packs. These are physical prize pack. So I'm going to have to mail them to you. So if you did win, and I have the 10 winners right here, you're going to have to email me. Go to my YouTube about page on my YouTube channel. You'll see the business email. It's my first and last name @Gmail. Email me your information. Reach out to me through Xbox Live. Reach out to me via DM. Whatever's easy for you. You get me your address, and we'll mail it out early next week. And the prize pack is going to include a $25 gift card to Xbox, upwards of 3 different coins. Now, those coins come the way through the generosity of Ben Kenobi. And the prize packs are going to be the watch party prize packs from June. They made a lot of them, and they had a bunch of extras. So when we left, everyone was able to take some to give away in their channels. And they have a bunch of little goodies in there, but they all have a Outer Worlds special edition coin that you can't buy. These were made by the incredible talents of Ben Kenobi. You're going to get the Outer Worlds 2 coin plus 2 additional coins in that prize pack as well. And of course, a $25 gift card. It is going to be an actual gift card to Xbox, and we're going to mail those out as soon as we get everyone's address. And well, you know what? Why wait? Let's announce the winner. So these are the 2 grand prize winners. Will the Broke Boy Lewis, or the Broke Boy Insider, as you have, has won one of the grand prizes, and BT Maverick 707 is the other grand prize winner. and they're going to have everything I just said, except you guys are getting a $50 gift card to Xbox, each one of you. So those are the grand prize winners. Once again, Will the Broke Boy Insider and BT Maverick 707. Here are the 8 winners for the, and again, they're not small prizes. I mean, they're going to be a small package, but it's still a prize nonetheless. And again, this is courtesy of everyone that consistently donates super chats and channel member chats and gifted subs. We take that money, we put it away, and we do these. Again, this is the first giveaway of the year because things have been kind of tough for everybody, including us. So it's our first big giveaway, and it's we do in the holidays a little bit bigger. This is a $300 giveaway in total, not counting the shipping. That's where they're going to really get us. But here are the 8 additional winners: Lethal Papa, Sith Lord, Toon Medic, Joe Dunmore, Mac 22, let's see, J Mo Money, Big Mad Mo, and Music 72. He asked for it and he got it. There you go. So I will once again read it at the end. Again, there's 3 ways to get in touch with us. You can email me, you can DM me, or you can message me on Xbox Live. All I need is your first and last name and your shipping address, and we will ship it. If it's a P.O. box, we can ship that too. It's not a problem. But those are the 10 winners. I will read those 10 winners once again before we get on out of here. But see, Money, I'm smiling inside because this is the one that hurts the ponies the most. And that's right. I said the P word. God damn it. Here's
the goddamn it on top of it. I like it.
And follow that up with that. Okay, so what we learned last Friday is that the billion-dollar corporation known as Sony Interactive Entertainment likes money. Holy shit, are you kidding me? They're a corporation and they want to make money? This is incredible. And you know what? We got to give credit where credit is due. A lot of people in the chat might not agree with me, and that's perfectly fine. I'm not going to fight with you. I really enjoy Sony's first-party games. Some certainly more than others. Like, for instance, Horizon Zero Dawn. I absolutely adored it. The DLC was phenomenal. I thought Aloy was an incredible character, but I didn't like 2. 2 under-delivered for me. Forbidden West just not hit for me personally. I don't know why it is. I actually think it's the arc of Aloy as a character. I really didn't like what they did with her. I just did not. She was an asshole. I did not like her as a character, but loved the first one. Spider-Man 2018, Miles Morales, and Spider-Man 2. Phenomenal games, right? Spider-Man 2, interestingly enough, and this is for context, you've heard me say this before, cost $315 million to make and was outsold by Helldivers 2. That's not good, ladies and gentlemen, because guess what? Spider-Man No Way Home, the film, cost $200 million to make and broke $1 billion. That's a big problem. That's a really big problem from Sony Interactive Entertainment and Sony Corp. Well, what we learned is thanks to what I have in front of me here, and that is the job description, the overview, if you will. See, Money, and I want to read it verbatim because, again, it's context. This position will be reporting to the Vice President and Commercial Management as Senior Director of Multi-Platform and Account Management. You will play a critical leadership role in shaping and executing the global commercial strategy for PlayStation Studio software titles across, and this is the line, folks, all digital platforms beyond PlayStation hardware, including Steam, Epic Games Store, Xbox, Nintendo, and mobile. This role is accountable for optimizing title profitability, ensuring cross-functional alignment, and leading a high-performing team focused on multi-platform expansion, mid-range commercial planning, and platform partner management. I don't think it gets any more effing clear than that, C Money. And what that ultimately means is that you're going to see many of the already ported titles by Nixus, and I've heard this in the background, are being fast-tracked, like Spider-Man 2018, for instance. That is going to release on Xbox. And you know what it is going to do on Xbox? Gangbuster numbers for PlayStation. So ultimately, this is a giant W for PlayStation. And you know why that is, C-Money? Because these games that are always over 5 years old, like God of War 2018, like Days Gone, like Returnal, like Spider-Man, like The Last of Us remake 1 and 2, it's going to make, they're taking old software and making new money. And I'm not, again, they're not going to release all of them at once, obviously. They're going to dole them out as they were. But these games have already been ported to PC, so the work is half done. And if you think, and this is what drives me crazy, oh, they'll never go third party. Hiroki Toki understands what, brand recognition's all about. The problem with Sony players is you mother, father, sister, brothers don't buy games. You just don't. And that is an absolute fact. So you guys and gals are not enough. You haven't been enough for freaking years. And this is the cause and effect of it. Because you talk the talk, but you don't walk the walk when it comes to sales and actually buying these games. Sony needs to go outside of the box. And that's exactly what they're doing. I want to get your thoughts on that.
Let me say one thing, because I feel like I want to be a little fair here to the idea that we've seen some games get bought over there, like Forza and Elder Scrolls Oblivion Remastered, right? Like, they're spending money on games. The problem is that Sony has not been producing games that are causing these people to want to spend the money. For instance, again, you guys all know here, and although people look at me and act as if I'm all this, like I just talk shit about PlayStation or whatever, because I'm just some person who just wants to do it. I own PlayStation 5, and I am so disappointed by what they made, right? And I think we've seen that across the board. Like, you brought up some games, Boom, and I think that a lot of people who had access to those games probably feel similar. I feel like Horizon Zero Dawn, whatever, the first one, I ended up beating that. It took over a year for me to beat it. It wasn't my cup of tea, like, oh my God, let me go play it. But ultimately, when I take all the time that I trickled out to play it, I felt it was fine, right? Boring, but fine. Second one, bought it, waste of life, right? Trash.
Yeah.
Can't stand it. God of War 2018. I thought it was good. I really enjoyed it. I say it all the time. There was a part in the game that started like really dragging, like just trying to extend the time of the, like, how long the game was. Like, it was just there to add some padding. But I liked the story enough that I kind of, just worked through it, got to the end, thought it was a good game. Ragnarok, no, bad. Don't like it. Just no, don't want it. Right. So, but I bought it. Don't like it. Ghost of Tsushima, it took me all of like 4 years to work my way through that game, because it's fine, right? It's fine for me. I beat the game, ended up liking the story enough, and then come to find out that the new one shits on the story and just gets rid of it and moves on to some other story. And it's like, well, I don't like the look of the character, and already the story just sounds like Assassin's Creed, and I already played that game, so I'm good, thank you. Honestly, and then Spider-Man, same thing. Spider-Man and Miles Morales. I love Miles Morales. Spider-Man I thought was really good, the first one. And then Spider-Man 2, bought the game, bought the statue, the one with the 19 inches of Venom, right? Got the
Boys.
PlayStation. I got the Spider-Man PlayStation, right? I supported. The game is not good, right? It's just not. It's just not. And that's not coming from some person sitting on the sidelines who loves Xbox and refuses to own a PlayStation. And I'm just saying it's dog shit because of what I hear and see.
But
I'm
you at
telling
least
you,
bought the game,
hands-on,
though, dude.
I bought the games, and
Yes.
I'm so disappointed. So I can easily see why these PlayStation players are not showing up, because I can tell you right now, the reason why in the PlayStation 4 generation those games had me able to be like, oh, this is dope, because they were fresh for PlayStation, right? They felt new. They were new experiences. But that's all they were. If they weren't new experiences for PlayStation, they wouldn't have hit the same way. And the reason I know that is because all of the sequels have done worse than the previous one. We just talked about Grounded, right? Grounded 2 just came out. It's been 5 years since Grounded release. And immediately, right off the rip, it's already had way more people playing it on Steam. The game is way better, big upgrade over the first game. Like, this is not the PlayStation special. This is the Microsoft Xbox special. They take what was done and they made it better, right?
Yeah.
So now people are more excited about it. People are going out there playing this game. It's more successful. All the games that you talked about liking on PlayStation or disliking on PlayStation 5, they all did worse than the previous one.
That's
right?
that's that's very interesting, because I'm glad you made mention of that. Ragnarok was not better than God of War 18.
Nope.
Now again, this is I've said this before. As much as I platinum Spider-Man 2018, for me personally, I have Miles Morales before it, and there's reasons for that.
Mhm.
Everything about Miles and his mom and the way the house was set, I've talked about this before, remind me of my abuela. That is what her place looked like. And I got to try not to get emotional about it, but I love Miles as a character. I love the story of his pops. Obviously, he's a cop like I was. There was something about that particular game that just I absolutely adored. Spider-Man 2, for me, I didn't finish it. I didn't finish Ragnarok. I didn't finish Horizon Forbidden West, and there's reasons for that. I don't mind them going to the well, but it just wasn't done better than the original. And I think that's what you're going for.
They bamboozled everybody, right? And they bamboozled me, right? I'm not gonna lie. That I've as it's so much of a meme now. At the time, they came out and said, we believe in generations. And my entire thing was, I love Last of Us, right? I love Naughty Dog. I think they're my favorite PlayStation studio by far. And I just sat there and said, man, if they can do this, if they can do Last of Us Part 2 on a PlayStation 4, I can only imagine what they can do on a PlayStation 5, and I gotta have it, right? And I just put that across the spectrum. I said, well, I liked God of War, the first one. Imagine the next God of War. I thought Horizon Zero Dawn was boring, but ultimately I played through it. Maybe the next one they're gonna blow it out the water, be amazing. Spider-Man, same thing. Like every single game that I thought was good or great or whatever, I just anticipated that the PlayStation 5 version would be better, way better, right? Like not a little better, way better. And they literally have let me down across the board every single time, including Ghost of Yote, where it took me 4 years to beat Ghost of Tsushima, but I would say it ranks high, in the spectrum of PlayStation games that I've played and enjoyed. And I was actually thinking to myself, man, if they make the next Ghost is, if they did this, it's gonna be crazy, right? And it's not crazy. It's more of the same. And as much as there's a lot of people out there that you see on Twitter that are saying, "Oh, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna love it." Sadly for them, and I feel good about this. I, I'm the majority, not them. Unfortunately, I feel bad for you guys, but I'm the majority. I'm the majority of people who are looking at the game saying, "Damn, that's not really that impressive," especially in the world we're in today, where we are blessed with an abundance of choice. We have so many games that we can be playing that we don't need to play one of those games. Look at Wu Chang. Phenomenal game. We reviewed it. What an amazing game. Not by a big company, not by some huge publisher. It's 505 Games published it. Li Zing was an amazing studio that did it, but these are way smaller, right? These are not huge studios, and they made a fantastic game. I should not think that 505 and Lean Z are going to be able to produce something on the same scale as a Ghost of Yote. Like, it just should not be, right? And obviously, like, the cinematics are not the same, right? That's for sure. That's where you see the shortcoming of Wu Chang not having, all this money to throw at it, right? Cinematics are not there. Obviously, Ghost of Yote is going to have the cinematics, but like, once you're in that world, like, Wu Chang's an amazing experience, so good. And I'm not comparing them like they're the same game. Obviously, Wu Chang's a Souls like this other game is not, but I'm talking about just it still took time, right? It takes your time, and you go and you say, well, I can go experience Wu Chang on Game Pass and spend 60 to 100 hours in that world. And it's like, why do I need Ghost of Yote? Right? It's not doing anything that is screaming to me like, yo, this is some big, huge, amazing upgrade. We're going all out. No. They literally came out and said, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was them, that the game is built for the ground up for PlayStation 5 and the PlayStation 5 controller. What? Why would you think that anybody gives a crap about whether you made the game for the controller in mind? Who cares, bro? Vibration is vibration. As long as the controller vibrates when you hit something, that's all these ponies are going to care about. They don't give a shit about anything else. What are you going to do? Put something playing through the speaker every once in a while, and somebody who has headphones that are not going to hear the shit coming out the speakers of your controller? Like, what are you talking about, dude? Come on, man. Come on. Like, this is the problem with PlayStation sales. After seeing how successful Xbox has been on the PlayStation platform, it's clear that it's not that they don't buy games. They just won't buy the games that you would expect them to buy. And all it does is prove that PlayStation, the reason why they are not committing to more than one game a year is because they can see that even if they put out more games in a year, the games that they make are not as popular as they used to be. And they're not willing to spend more money to reach the heights of the expectation that's put on them, when they'll just go ahead and coast with what they have using old tech and just repurposing it. That's the reality of what it is. And like, I see like Colin Prime, right? He's makes a good point. There's nothing wrong with something being the same. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Of course. But also remember,
I agree with that.
as a consumer, if I see something and it's the same, it's also my choice to be like, cool, I'm not going to buy it. Right? Like, that's the beauty of it, right? The most powerful thing that I can do as a consumer is tell you that I think your game is the same and I'm not spending my money on it. Right? That is power. If you are a consumer and you say, I don't like the fact that you're not taking any risk, or you're not pushing further, or you're not making it look better, you're not doing any of that stuff, then I won't buy your game. And guess what? Again, the beauty for me is that I am in the majority here. I get to kind of be like, yeah, as much as you feel that way, the numbers are in my favor, right? The numbers back me up, not you guys, sadly, if you feel that way. Because at the end of the day, look at the numbers. No one, not one of their games, has done better than the previous generation. And to be clear, don't get excited. These are not PlayStation 5 only games. These are games that released on PlayStation 4 and on PlayStation 5 for the most part, outside of what Spider-Man 2. Everything else was on both. So the people who played the original on PlayStation 4 were like, nah, fam, I'm good. I'm good. People on PlayStation 5 were like, nah, I'm all right. You know what I'm saying? I'm okay. Not worth it to me, right? And that's just the reality of what it is, man. Look, again, I'm invested. I spend the money. They're not impressing me. And that's their job, right? When you spend money on a console, when you spend money on a piece of hardware, every game that is made, their job is to impress you in some way, shape, or form, because that is the only way and the only reason that you would give them your money. Again, it's a position of power that is real and it exists. I get to be as flippant as I want about anything PlayStation does because I spend the money, and it annoys the fuck out of me. Damn it. It annoys me.
That's all right. That's fine.
That this is what they've given me this gen. It's the worst. This is probably the worst generation. Yes, I think I can say it for me. The worst generation PlayStation has ever had, for games that I would play or that enjoyed playing. I have not enjoyed PlayStation 5.
I mean, again, I have a console. I the one I have is I bought the Spider-Man plates. I bought the Spider-Man controller. I love it. I didn't get a Pro. I have no ambition to buy one. It's just there's just not enough there for me to want to upgrade. That's fine. And again, if there's any PlayStation fans that actually listen to us, and they probably listen to this to clip it, it's fine, and you can clip this as well. The problem with things staying the same on PlayStation is why you don't have a roadmap. They made some decisions internally that really put PlayStation as a brand in a jam. You had leadership that believed in copying what Xbox was doing with their gas games, right? And do you remember when people used to make fun of Sea of Thieves? Look where it is now. Look how many people have played it. Look how many people on PlayStation are enjoying it. And again, ultimately, seeing Xbox have like the Minecrafts and the Call of Duties and, the Sea of Thieves and the Fallout 76 and ESOs, and there's a bunch of others, right? Grounded 2 is a perfect example of it. These are games as a service. Sony wanted in on that. And they stopped all production on single player story driven, the one and dones, as the anti PlayStation community. And they're bots. Those are just bots that try to use that against PlayStation's single player stuff, which I will not use because I really like their single player stuff. But they stopped production of those, went into this gas game future, and it blew up in their face, right? 10 of the 12 have been canceled. One was a success, Helldivers 2, and it was a success not only on PlayStation, because only 2.2 million people bought it on PlayStation. It sold 12 million on Steam, right? That's where they made their money. And guess what? Even though it was a success, it's coming to Xbox on the 26th, right? Incredible. The last one, right, we know is Fair Games. Fair Games is gone. That game is not going to be produced. That studio is going to be closed. And I'm not saying because I want it to happen.
I highly doubt it's going to be released.
Unless
they're doing a big pivot.
Jade Raymond left the studio.
She's gone.
That was her
it's
baby.
The first, but understand, it's not just that she left. She left after the first time anyone outside of the studio played the game.
Yeah, that's correct. Yes.
They did a review of the game and she was gone. I don't know how else you can look at that shit. Yo. It's crazy.
So with that said, that's a game that's probably gone. And Marathon, which was supposed to be the breadwinner for them, has been delayed. So all of these losses, and these are millions upon millions upon millions of development dollars that are gone, that they're not going to get back, ladies and gentlemen. They need something else. And if you could make new money with old software that's literally sitting on a server that has already been ported over to PC in whether it's the Game of the Year edition, whether it's the remaster, whatever it is, those games will sell on Xbox. And I said this last night, I actually think there is a bright side for PlayStation because I believe, and this is just me, again, for me, my glass is always half full rather than half empty. I think there's an opportunity for Sony to kind of do what Xbox is doing on PlayStation and have some of their games in the best-selling category. Spider-Man is a no-brainer, and I keep saying this. It's freaking Spider-Man. It's an incredible IP. The first game, is it perfect? No, but it's an incredible story, and it's an Insomniac joint. What more do you need? That game is coming over. Days Gone is another perfect example of what would do really well on Xbox. That one, Returnal, is another one. Smaller game, sure, but it didn't sell well. It sold well enough to, have a sequel doled out by the studio, but it didn't knock down doors. That, again, new money from old IP. This is why they're doing it, because they're a corporation, and they're a publicly traded corporation. And they have to answer to their shareholders. And look, we talked about this before, and we're going to get on out of here. I'm going to, because again, we're closing in on the 90-minute mark, and normally this is the smaller show. But in closing, the reason why the knee was bent by PlayStation is because they want to make money. That's ultimately what it is. And the truth of the matter is, even more so, is that the ponies that go on the internet and make fun of everyone else and try to tell you that Xbox is dying, those creators, those gamers, they were not enough. They didn't buy these games, and that's why Sony's bending the knee. And when it happens, I will then I'll be a bit of a bigger a-hole when Spider-Man launches, because you can only imagine how many times I've been clipped by saying that. Spider-Man is going to sell gangbusters, and I can't wait. But let me just, once again, catch up on Super Chats if there are any more, and there are a few more. I'll read the winners, and we'll get everyone out of here. We also have Mac22 says, why do you never read my full chats? What was your full chat before, buddy? Let me see what it was. It says, I actually did read your chat before. I said, it said, see money. There are the most successful, almost $4 trillion company in third place. They're actually $4 trillion company. And as you said, hashtag Microsoft, hashtag Xbox is not in third. I mean, in console sales, they're in third place, brother. But again, in some of the other things, they're not. Let me see. I sent my gamer tag to you, Mac22. It is Mr. BoomStick XL, the way it is spelled out with Mr. space BoomStick space XL on. And again, you can always go to my any of the shows. All of my information for the Switch, serial numbers there, and everything else that you wanna reach out to me. Will, I believe it's Will, Broke Boy Lewis says, email address, keep up the good work, both of you, brother. Thank you so much for the generosity of the $2 super chat. And once again, folks, I'm going to read the winners aloud so you guys and gals can know who won. And again, simply just reach out to me via email You can find what my email is for the business. It is very simple. It's my first and last name. Again, everyone knows who I am, so it's no big secret. And that you can do that, or you can DM me on Twitter, or of course you can message me on Xbox Live. The 2 grand prize winners: Will the Broke Boy Lewis, or the Broke Boy Insider, as he now is being called, BT Maverick 707. You are the 2 grand prize winners. The regular winners, and there are 8 of them: Lethal Papa, Sith Lord, Toon Medic, Joe Dunmore, Music 72, Big Mad Mo, J Mo Money, and Mac 22. Those are the 10 winners, ladies and gentlemen. Again, if I don't hear from everybody, or if I cross people off the list, once we get everyone's stuff ready to go, if I haven't heard from you, don't worry. I'll wait a couple of shows before we re-roll the prize. I will do my damnedest to get the prize to you and then get in touch with everyone who, in fact, did win. But see, money, let's get everyone out of here, brother. Sell the brand of On Point for Gamers. And of course, you guys have been doing unbelievable work. The channel's hit record high numbers, and it's well deserved because you and the missus put in the work. You have fun. Hargeet Chani dropping it hot like he normally does. And you guys do a lot of podcasts. You do a lot of reviews, which I don't know how the hell you have the time to do it, but you figure it out. I don't do reviews because I just don't have the time. Sell the brand of On Point for Gamers. Where can people subscribe? And more importantly, follow you guys on social media.
Yeah, man. Well, obviously, Boom, appreciate you, my brother. Thank you so much for having me on the show. I love doing these shows, man. So obviously Thursdays, 12 p.m. Eastern time. Oh, wait, there was 2 more super chats, by the way.
You know what? There were. They just popped up in the feed. So let me get that real quick. We also have Crispy Bomb, a very good friend and brother, who will be on tomorrow's Breakfast with Boom to, of course, TTS. He says, congrats to the winners. Tomorrow is going to be messy. Yeah, we're going to have fun tomorrow. And, of course, that is on the heels of a very generous $5 super chat. And not to be outdone, Music 72 drops a very generous $5 super chat. He says, sounds like Boom needs to wear some protective gear the way Crispy Bomb is talking. Well, I'm not worried about him hurting me. That's my brother. About other people, I can't say your safety is in good hands. But see, money, sell the brand, brother.
Yeah, man, of course. So I did put the link in the chat. So yeah, we have our channel On Point for Gamers. It's an Xbox focused channel, but we talk about all the news just from a Xbox fans, perspective. Right now we're having a real good time because of everything, all the news that's dropped. Mm-hmm. So it's definitely been a fun one. These last couple of shows have been insane. So we have a few shows that we do a week. Tuesday nights is Night Quest 8 p.m. Thursday nights at 8 p.m. is our On Point Gaming podcast, which is tonight. But something might have come up, so I'm not 100% sure if we're going to be able to do the show tonight, but definitely just keep posted and you'll see, and we'll announce it if we are. And then Friday nights is our night with a Night Shift Let's Talk Gaming at 8 p.m. Eastern with Hargeet and Demo. It's good time, man. We just have some fun on the show. We did just review Grounded. Xbox sent us the code, and that was man, we loved it. Definitely go check it out. The huge upgrade. I was not a huge Grounded 1 fan, so the fact that I'm so hooked on this one says something. And Doodle, she's super hooked on it as well. So definitely check that out. We also reviewed Wu Chang. Shout out to 505 Games. We actually just wrapped up a giveaway that we did over on Twitter with a partnership with 505 Games. So we did just announce the winner on Tuesday night for that. But yeah, it's just such a good time now to be an Xbox fan, man. It's a beautiful time. Even, I can tell you right now, one of the best things that I've noticed is that the ponies don't have anything to say. They just don't have anything to say. So like they used to come into our show, so I put like a 30-minute wait like, you know, people would just go in and talk shit. So I would make it 30 minutes. You have to be a subscriber before you can talk, right? But now I leave it at just a few minutes. It's like 5 minutes or whatever. And there's just nothing for them to say. You know what I'm saying? Like they're just so deflated that it's just like, just now it's just fun. Now we don't have to sit there and, I mean, we still make fun of a lot of the shit that they do and say, you know, but it's just the coping that they're doing that's so entertaining right now. But yeah, it's just we have a good time on the show, man. We if we have a show tonight, it's definitely going to be fun. But if not, we'll be there tomorrow. We have a lot of stuff to talk about. All this news, obviously, that's broke, and you know, a lot of different takes on different things that are happening. So definitely come check us out, man. Again, I have put the link in the chat. Boom. Thanks again, my brother. Appreciate you. Remember, Thursdays, 12 p.m., XVlog Live.
Nice, brother. Well, thank you so much for joining us. As always, it's great to work with you each and every Thursday. Congratulations on the success of the channel. Well deserved. You guys put the work in, and I'd love to see it. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, a big thank you to all of the super chats, channel member chats, gifted subs that continue to come in, because, again, those are super important. I'm a retired guy. Yeah, I have a great pension, but, you know, like I always say, and people make fun of me for it, the pension is great. It has a ceiling. The super chats are used for, you know, upkeep with the channel. We have a lot of programs that, you know, you don't buy lifetimes for. You got to buy yearly. And it's a lot of stuff that goes in the back end of putting these shows together, the thumbnails, the artwork, the equipment. That's where a lot of the super chats go to, as well as the giveaways, which we had a $300 plus giveaway today. And that's thanks to you fine folks for supporting Double Barrel Gaming. Of course, I want to close out the show with something that's incredibly important to me, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully one day will be important to you. And that's something that my dad taught us when we were kids. And it would say, Craig, treat others how you want to be treated. And also, it doesn't cost anything to be nice. Live by those rules, son. I can guarantee you're going to have an awesome day. So take care, everyone. And we'll see you next week on the newest episode of XVlog Live.